This one was really interesting. Apparently, Darth Vader was about to appear in Guardians of the Galaxy, and almost no one knew it. This is Dark Bloop on Comic Book Movie. Imagine being in a movie theater in 2014, watching Star-Lord dancing, Rocket growling, and Groot saying, "I am Groot," and suddenly hearing the most famous breath in cinematic history, Darth Vader's. Sounds like a fan delusion, but it isn't. According to Kevin Feige himself, the Dark Lord of Star Wars was very close to sneaking into the MCU. The impossible crossover that almost happened. The anecdote came up in an interview reported by Mashable years ago. In it, Feige explained that during the development of Guardians of the Galaxy, the possibility of including Darth Vader in a cameo was seriously considered. Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilms was recent, and the temptation of uniting two galactic universes under one corporate roof was too tempting to pass up. Vader in the MCU, Easter egg, or full-blown cameo? With that confession, the big question remains. How exactly would Vader have appeared? A hologram found in the collector's collection, an Imperial helmet hidden among cosmic relics, or a direct cameo breathing included in front of the Guardians? Feige didn't provide any details, but the mere fact that it was even being considered opens the door to endless theories and fan art, because if there's one thing that unites Marvel and Star Wars, it's fans' passion for imagining impossible crossovers. Marvel and Star Wars, two galaxies under Disney. The idea wasn't so far-fetched, with Marvel and Lucasfilms already under the Disney umbrella. A crossover seemed like a matter of time, and although the two universes have remained separate until now, hints like this show that the temptation has always been there. Plus, Guardians of the Galaxy shares a lot with Star Wars: space adventures, impossible ships, cheeky humor, and characters who seem plucked from the Mos Eisley Cantina. It's not hard to imagine Darth Vader crossing into the universe for a couple of seconds. What could have been and what may yet happen. In the end, Guardians of the Galaxy became a phenomenon in its own right without the need for Vader, but the multiverse has changed the rules of the game. If we've already seen 3 Spider-Men share the screen in No Way Home, and Hugh Jackman return as Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine, why not dream of a Marvel Star Wars crossover somewhere in the future? We may never see Vader fight Rocket, but a hidden hint in an upcoming series or movie doesn't seem impossible. The value of an almost. Fascinating thing about these confessions is that they remind us of how fragile and exciting the creative process is at Marvel. Sometimes a simple almost is enough to spark the imagination, and in this case, the almost is huge. The galaxy's most iconic villain is one step away from appearing in one of the MCU's most beloved films. As Feige said, it would have been amazing, and even though it never happened, there always the fantasy of how things would have changed if Darth Vader had been shared on screen, even for a moment, with Star-Lord, Groot, and company. The question is inevitable. Would you have liked to see Darth Vader in Guardians, or is it better for Marvel to leave this to fans' imagination? Tell us in the comics. In the comments, oh yeah, the blah blah blah, their comments. We can talk about it ourselves. Okay, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna say this. I don't necessarily think I would have wanted to see that, but what I would have been okay with is if when Loki was dimension hopping, or when Deadpool was dimension hopping, or in Multiverse of Madness when you have them falling through all those dimensions because America couldn't control it. I would have been fine with some little Easter egg there, but I don't think that there was anything going on in Guardians to warrant that happening. And I think it would have just been messy, personally. That's just my take. It's nothing more than a tip to the hat because you happen to be dimension hopping, but I don't necessarily like this idea of just bringing them all together. That feels more like a cash grab than something that makes you go, oh my God. What do you think, Chris?
I always get so excited to talk about trade coffee. I think you guys know that by now. They're like my favorite thing in the world. I love them. I use them every single day. I'm always using trade coffee. I'm always excited to get new bags, try new things, and they really are learning what I like because days are cooling down now, man. And so for me, the coffee routine shifts. I like warm mugs in the mornings when it starts to get cold here. You can get iced coffee in sunny afternoons. It really doesn't matter this season, to be honest, hot or cold. They recommend beans that I love. They do it so well. They roast them to order and they deliver them right to my door. It's like having my favorite cafe on standby without ever leaving home. I just look forward to it all the time. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S. for both hot and cold coffee drinkers. They've sourced the best beans from over 50 top roasters across the U.S., and you can tell. Trade's prices are on par with grocery store brands, but the quality, it's next level. It doesn't matter if it's smooth, cold brew, cozy, hot cup to start the day. And the best part is that you're supporting local roasters with every cup. It's a win-win. I mean, have you ever heard me not talk about Trade Coffee? If you've been listening to this show long enough, it's how I start my day. It's part of my day. It's the first thing I do. I see Trade Coffee in the morning before I see my kids. Trade Coffee is offering 50% off of a 1-month trial, but you got to go to drinktrade.com/Christian. That is drinktrade.com/Christian. Get 50% off 1 month. drinktrade.com/Christian. I don't know what you're waiting for. drinktrade.com.
I mean, I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I absolutely hate this. I would have hated it. I would hate it so much. And I know I usually love everything, but I hate this. So if it had been like an Easter egg of something of Vader's or something in the collector's establishment, I would have loved that and been like, oh, look at that. I would have thought something like that is really cool. But George Lucas set Star Wars in a galaxy far, far away with events a long, long time ago because he didn't want it to be a whole thing where this is Earth's future somehow. Those humans in Star Wars are native to their own galaxies. There is no Terra. That does not exist. And so that would make my brain malfunction in a way that I don't like. It would make me a little sick to my stomach. So I'd have to do too much math and try to figure things out, and I wouldn't like it.
No,
but I love that idea, though, of just kind of switching around like that. Because in Multiverse of Madness, I kept waiting. I thought our first trill was going to be seeing the cartoon X-Men world. I would have loved to see Star Wars happen in there. But if Peter Quill walked up to Vader and was like, "Dance off, bro," I think I would have just thrown my popcorn.
That feels like, honestly, and I'm glad it didn't go beyond that. That feels like what this new Sony CEO said. It feels like something that guy would say. They'd be like, "Hey, man, you know what makes $1 billion? At the MCU. You know what also makes $1 billion? Darth Vader and Star Wars. What if we just mash them together? Just like." That's fine if you want to play a Super Smash Brothers type game. What was it? Yeah. The Disney Infinite happened, so you could do stuff like that. That's fine for something like that. If you had a Groot and a Vader toy in the new Toy Story film, and they want to interact, I'm cool with that too because they're toys, so it makes sense that they would be some. But
yeah, you can Kingdom Hearts it. I'm fine with that.
Absolutely. If you want to make a Kingdom Hearts movie, and that's how they meet it. Also fine, but there's nothing that speaks to either of these worlds to just mash up like that. And truthfully, it would need to be nothing more than an Easter egg. And I will tell you this, if they do it now, we're already talking about the state of Marvel and the MCU and the state of Star Wars. I can't see anything that screams more, we're in trouble, we need a gimmick, than to be like, let's just make this happen. You know what I mean?
I don't want my movies to feel like a Fortnite patch. I want it to be a good movie where characters show up because it makes sense for them to show up.
Absolutely. It would need to make sense. And there's nothing about it that currently makes sense. Now, I'm trying to remember. Marvel is the one that produces the Star Wars comics at this state, right?
I believe so, yeah. I can double check that too.
I believe it is, but that's still, to me, is not the move. You know what I'm saying? No. Like I still think leave them alone. Don't do that. I don't think that really works. But yeah, that I see a lot of people being like, bro, this ain't Fortnite. I'm like, that's a great comment, because I agree, this is not Fortnite, and I don't know, man. Like I'm not trying to like yuck anybody's yum, but that just doesn't feel like the move.
Again, if it can't happen organically, if it just feels like the moment where we're all supposed to go, oh, hey, then why? Why? He doesn't belong there. Let him do other things. Vader's very busy being a dead Force ghost.
Thank you. Thank you. Let him be dead. I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris. What were you about to say?
Oh no, I just
said Well, tell us what you think. Would you want Vader? Are we just being, assholes, or do you agree that we really should keep Marvel and Star Wars separate? And that just seems like a cash grab type move. Let us know what you think in the comments.